Welcome back to another edition of Ego on Break. I'm your host, Dynamite J. Andrews. Got the Mississippi Madman, Logan Creed, sitting to my side. And we are going to talk wrestling. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So, are you ready to rumble?
Sure.
Nope, wrong time of the year. Is it?
No,
It's
like
coming
a
up,
couple
ain't
months
it?
away.
Is it January? Is that the rumble?
January or February, I don't ever remember.
Yeah, because
they change it up. That's why.
And then March would be March, April be WrestleMania. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we are getting close to Are You Ready to Rumble? So speaking of Ready to Rumble, we watched that.
I forgot how bad that movie was.
It's pretty bad.
I think I know where Warhorse stole Rule of Ass from was that movie. And I never thought about it. I've only seen the movie like twice.
It's pretty bad.
I shall rule you.
I mean, it's
bad.
It's so horrible that it's good, but even at good, it's bad.
It's bad, man.
It's like, hey, let's.
Like, it got worse because I haven't watched it in so long.
I agree. I'm like, I think it was better when I was younger. Like as an adult, I'm like, this is horrible.
It's awful. And I made it all the way through too. Like I was doing stuff I had to do, but I would stop it, but I'd come right back to it.
Like 17 to 20-year-old me, whatever, 15 to 20-year-old me, whatever I was at that time, thought the movie was really good. But man, was I wrong.
God, it's awful.
So yeah, I give that a 5-star for nostalgia and a no star for being good.
Because after I watched the movie again, I could legit understand why people were so pissed off that David Arquette got the belt, and I'm like, I get it.
Yeah. I mean, nothing in the movie makes sense.
No.
And it's like, hey, how many bathroom humor things can we think of?
Every
800?
one of them.
Let's use them all.
Every damn one. I think they made up 4 more.
They had the list of Jericho where he's reading all the movies he knows.
The toilet jokes.
God, it's bad.
I did like when he come out of the toilet and kicked DDP's butt. I thought that was pretty cool.
And I'm sorry, and this is no knock on whoever the dude is that played Jimmy King.
I can't remember.
But could y'all not find someone else
that was somewhat athletic at all?
I'm like, stunt double,
but it was a comedy. It was the biggest knock. Like they straight up made fun of Jerry the King Lawler. Anybody that denies that, you're an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it had a lot of inspiration from him.
Yeah.
But man, was it? Golly, could the movie had been good if I don't know, anybody would have been in it?
At one point, they're treating it like a shoot wrestling match, and then they're treating it like a work wrestling match. Hey, lighten it up, baby, lighten it up. Give me a hip toss, baby. Give me a hip toss.
I'm going to kick your ass.
What the hell am I watching?
It was horrible.
Oh, it's bad.
So, yeah, I give it a thumbs in the middle just for...
I'm just like, I watched it. That was it.
So, did you have a chance to check out the Hold Your Fork?
Yeah, I did. I didn't understand the Hold Your Fork part, though.
I think he says it at some point in the movie, during our wrestling program.
He did, but that still didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I was like, why is it called this?
I don't know. I think it could have been called a lot of other stuff. But
Southern Ring of Honor or whatever it was
called. Southern Honor Wrestling.
That's it, yeah.
Awesome, like that. They are the promotion that I had hoped to be.
Mm-hmm.
The production's there.
Crazy promo.
It's amazing quality.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Sunny Days for all the work he puts into it. Gary Lamb, both worked their butts off to make a product to be proud for. Yeah. It's essentially what I wanted with the Great Southern 8 was, look at me. You know what I mean? The South is more than horrible
history.
Yeah. Well, no, just horrible wrestling.
Wrestling.
I mean, especially from the independent scene, there was a time where the good was hidden so far beneath the bad that you couldn't find the good.
I agree.
And they do an amazing job, so shout out to them. I mean, definitely an inspirational story for sure. And inspirational from several different points, because if you look at it from Dylan being the fan growing up and meeting and and then becoming to where he is now, and that's an inspiration. And then Gary Lamb going, I've got this building and I like wrestling, my kid likes wrestling, but what we're watching isn't good. You know, like it was a, I mean, almost a success of finding a business person. And I mean, he was a preacher, I believe. So finding someone that wanted to put forth the effort to have good wrestling.
He needed that shirt. I love Jesus, but I cuss a little.
Yeah,
because I was like, this is
he's definitely not. He's definitely not your typical Southern preacher by no means.
No.
So, but man, kudos to both those guys. Kudos to the guy that I think his name's Nathan that may have made it. I think he was in the video a little bit.
I don't remember.
Kudos for him for putting the video out. It's well done. I mean, I can't say enough. And the cool thing was probably 40 or 50% of the people
we've met
that came through Ego. So amazing just seeing those talented guys get an opportunity to be on, you know, quote unquote, a bigger stage.
I like how it ended. I mean, he could literally do a second part of this easy.
Yeah. So
because it's still going.
Right on. But it was phenomenal, and I definitely highly recommend it. Yeah. I've shared the link out to a few people, and hopefully can get more views on it because it definitely deserves to be seen. I mean, it was quality stuff. Okay. And
because when you sent to me, it said, "Hold your fork." I'm like, "What the hell am I watching? A damn buffet eating contest?"
We hungry.
And then I saw the initials, and I was like, "Wait a minute! I know this is out of Georgia."
Yeah.
And the more I watched it, the more I'm like, I've actually seen this storyline. As I keep up with so many people from wrestling, I would see little clips here and there, and I'm like, well, I actually recognize that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I recognize that. And like, I follow David Ali a lot because I'm a big fan of his.
Right.
But it was hard to believe. Like, he was almost out the door, and then he's like, hell, let me give it one more shot, which I think every wrestler said it at some point.
We all get burnt out at some point. Some of us get burnt out to the point where we just take a break, and some of us just leave and never come back. So.
That's it. But yeah, definitely go check it out. Hold your fork. Check it out. It's on YouTube. It's easy to find.
Highly recommend it. And they have a huge show coming up, and I don't remember anybody on it, so because I didn't really look at it. But
no, but you can find.
There's a poster out there, and they did a cool. They have kind of like this mirrored effect, and they have so many guys on top and so many guys on the bottom. It's like the bad guys are on bottom, like coming out of hell.
I saw that poster. I know what you're talking about.
It was really cool. So. Just high quality work.
What is the name of the promotion?
Southern Honor Wrestling.
Southern Honor Wrestling. Yeah. Okay, I mix it up with Ring of Honor.
I wish it, like, the whole thought of when I put together, even when I just wanted to start running events, I wanted to kind of have a Southern Ring of Honor, and I am so jealous I didn't think of that name first. So, I mean, had Independent Championship Wrestling All-Stars been named Southern Honor Wrestling, it probably never would have changed.
Sure.
But ICWA just didn't stick around very long. So whoever came up with it, which I think Sunny Days Dylan, I think he came up with Southern Honor Wrestling. So phenomenal work on it. So
well, you talking about the right connections.
Oh, I mean,
crazy.
You know, stars aligned. But I think those stars aligned because they had such high quality they were trying to put out. Had they just been at the Armory with the ring up and, you know, whatever guys and no production, I don't think half of the guys that came would have been there. You know, I don't think you ever would have seen Jericho. You would never seen, you know, you might have seen Jake because, you know, he could be booked in buildings like that.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega, none of that stuff. Cody, none of that would have been there had it not been phenomenally produced wrestling. So kudos to those guys as well. So Ring of Honor's on hiatus
till April, supposedly. They're not sure. Nobody seems to really have that answer.
I watched the first hour.
I sent that to you.
Shout out to our friend O'Shea Edwards for heck being there just from the point, you know, just for start.
It was awesome that he was on the. If it is the final show, it's the final show.
Yeah. So super cool for that. But a lot of questions left that needs to be answered. Yeah. You had, you know, so this is definitely spoiler alerts. So go ahead and get that out of the way. Turn it off now. Briscoes, you know, being challenged by FTR.
Well, they kind of challenged them in a way because they said, if there's any tag teams that want a piece of the Briscoe boys, and everything goes dark, of course. Yeah. And then they come back. I really don't like the dark thing all the time because they did it like twice that night.
Yeah.
And I wish they would just walked out in the entrance and be like, hey, we're here.
Right. You had Braun Titan, which is funny. Titan and
well, now you can't use Braun Strowman.
Blake Murphy or whatever his name is now, joining EC3. Yeah. I love that Titan and Titan Sports. Like,
and then I saw a picture today where they're talking about Cross may come in and join. It's literally Braun, Cross, and EC3 at the bottom. I'm sorry, but it's Braun, him. So that is cool. Definitely going to be part of the team coming soon.
So just curious of where that's going. You know, control your narrative and.
It started making more sense when he cut the promo at the end because it was more or less, you're saying this is a Ring of Honor, but look at this corporate situation. You've just fired everybody here. He said, so now we, the boys, need to take control of it, was more or less what it was said.
Nice.
So I thought that was kind of cool. It actually made the control your narrative thing more like you can be your own boss when it comes down to
it. You know, if someone is smart, man, to go do a quote unquote Ring of Honor show in like Philly or somewhere, like you know, Hammerstein Ballroom, New York, whatever. Go to some of those die-hard places for a Ring of Honor and do a Ring of Honor show that's not Ring of Honor, but just Ring of Honor guys, kind of like they used to do with the ECW stuff.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
One night stand type scenarios.
So I mean, that'd be super cool. Maybe EC3 will do that. You know, he is. You know, he comes from wrestling royalty, rich people, and all that.
People that spent $600 million, or whatever the hell it was in TNA.
So that's the whole title of the show: Control Your Narrative, and it's just ROH guys.
I would.
Yeah. So it would be very cool.
I mean, I got a list of the matches. You had Ray Horus versus Dragon Lee.
Okay.
Dragon Lee went over. Good match, fun. Next was Joe Henry versus Silas Young versus Rhett Titus versus Dalton Castle for the TV title. Who do you think won?
Rhett. No, nice.
What do you think he won with?
Chicken wing.
Drop kick.
Oh, wow.
He started working on like this perfected drop kick. So it was
Why not?
It was pretty cool, but
double kick to the face should do. You know what I mean?
What's the guy's name that calls the commentary? The black guy, Caprice Coleman. He was just like so proud of it. And he's like, man, if anybody in that match deserved to go out as that top, and I agree because that dude's been in Ring of Honor forever and a damn day.
For sure.
So I thought that was really cool. Next was the Mecha Brian Johnson versus Josh Woods.
Like Josh Woods.
Josh
Woods, pure champion?
Pure champion, and remained pure champion. But good match. He ran his mouth all through it. That was pretty cool. But it was still fun. Next was Shane Taylor versus Kenny King in a, what is it called? Fight Without Honor.
Oh, nice.
And
so I didn't know what the rest of the results were, so I just saw like little clips. I saw the Strowman and him coming out.
I enjoyed the match, but it was one of them matches where you're literally watching them set shit up.
Yeah.
And I was just getting so annoyed as I'm like, why aren't you attacking him? Oh yeah, he's setting up two ladders and a ladder in between it. And I was just like, it took me out of the match because I'm literally just like, beat the shit out of him. Screw all this setting up a damn spot. And it just.
All I saw of that match, I think I saw a clip where maybe Shane like power drove him through some ladders or something.
Yeah.
So.
And it wasn't a bad match, but I just it took me out of it because I'm sitting there literally watching, like hit him with something and then, set up something. And but instead it was like they were, I don't know, it just wasn't enough selling for me.
Yeah.
But anyway. Shane won.
Oh, nice.
And he gave him a T-shirt of
Shane Taylor,
Black Excellence, and like all the black workers that worked for the show come out and did kind of like a celebratory celebration.
Yeah, I saw a picture. It was pretty cool.
I mean, like I said, the match itself was not bad. It just took me out when I'm literally watching you watch him put up something. It drives me insane. And in a way, I wish they would go out to the ring and literally the shit would already be set up and they would just work around it until they get to it. Because besides that, it just drives me insane.
I mean, that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible.
Set the stunts up. Go, hey, look.
I mean,
look,
clearly
seven
you got
ladders piled on
basically
top of each
you
other.
got something to work your way around, like fighting in a playground, more or less.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible. Why not?
Why not?
That way you ain't got to worry with it.
Yeah.
You know? But anyhow, then you had I felt so bad. Like the women had championship match. I had to follow that.
Oh wow.
And it was Willow versus Roxy, and God, I hate being that guy, but it just is what it is. Roxy is one of the botchiest chicks I've ever seen. And, bro, it was. Go watch it. I mean, I'm not lying. Like, the last 5 minutes of the match, they quit trying to do all this complicated crap they had called in the back, and it got into a really good match. But the crowd turned on her, too.
Oh, wow.
So it wasn't just me. So anybody that sees this, Willow should have won, but Roxy kept the belt. So, sorry. It is what it is. But the last 5 minutes was like a great match.
Yeah.
Before that,
so just fast forward to the last 5 minutes.
Willow did a pounce on her, bruh. And Willow's a big old gal.
That's cool.
And she
Willow,
hit boom.
Because she's working MLW too. So
yeah, fun match. But like I said, besides like the first 5 minutes were garbage, and the last 5 minutes were really good.
Nice.
So the next match was Rocky Romero, Homicide, Brody King, Tony Deppen versus Williams. Isom, Russ
Taylor,
and EC3.
Okay, so that's where EC3 came in.
The coolest part of this whole scenario was at the end, in the match, everybody was hitting like old Ring of Honor champions moves.
That's
and
cool.
It was so awesome. God, I didn't write down who won. Oh yeah, I did. The Deppen team won.
Okay.
But very,
so
very
the
fun.
Violence Incorporated.
Yeah.
So I didn't realize that Isom and Russ were part of the foundation. I guess it's been a while since I saw anything. So,
well, no, somebody got hurt, and they asked EC3 to come out in their spot, and it was the other. I can't remember the other guy's name, but he had blew his hip out. He was out there on crutches.
I got you.
But fun match, really fun. EC3 kept Isom out there, and everybody else went to the back, and that's when he called out, and out come Brian Johnson and one other guy, and I can't remember who it was. And he's like, if you want your spot in another promotion or something like that, you're going to have to fight for it. And that's when out comes Strowman and stomped the shit out of him. And he dragged Isom out of the back, and like, he's like, this ain't nothing personal. He goes, I just want you to earn your spot. Damn, I'm like, can I cut your grass? You know, instead of having this guy beat the hell out of him with a 7 foot tall. Holy crap, dude. But then it was Briscoes versus OGK. Honest to God, this in the main was probably the match of the night to me. I would have a hard time picking out of the two. One of the coolest spots they did is I think it was the Briscoes took the Doomsday device as they were one of them was being held on the outside, and they did a dive through and took it onto the floor.
Oh shoot.
And it was awesome. And this was one exception. Now, I usually hate when people kick out a finisher after finisher after finisher. But bro, they kicked out like 34 finishers in this match, it felt like. But it was so good. It was so good.
I'll have to find that.
But yeah, I definitely recommend that match.
And then the main event?
Briscoes win and go out as the Ring of Honor champions, which is the way it should have been.
Yeah, and then FTR and all that
and then FTR come out when they challenged, and they did a brawl, and they did some language. And
yeah,
the funniest parts of the thing was, I think one of the announcers said something, and he cussed, and he goes, they're going to fire you for this. Like, fuck them, I'm already fired. He's going to fire me, I'm already fired. And I was like, that's awesome. But then was Gresham and Lethal.
And they fought for the original title.
The only thing I had
so
against
is
this
Bandito
match,
not the champion anymore?
He's still the champion, so I think they're going to come back, and it's going to be like championship for championship.
That'd be cool.
If that comes back. And that's a cool storyline if you push it right away. But I guess it was about a little over halfway through the match, the whole roster comes out and starts watching the match. And in a way, I wish they'd damn near been out there since the beginning. Because in just a second, it took away just a little bit from the match. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you got right back into it.
Yeah.
But Gresham won with multiple forearms. And then he put him in the octopus stretch and put him on the ground and was
cranking it over.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And Jay Lethal did the right thing. He put him over. I mean, he's gone to AEW, so
solid work for sure.
I do know Gresham's put out like he wants to still defend the belt while everything's on hiatus, and Danielson said he would love to wrestle a match with him in his style. So that might be a match you would get to see on AEW.
I'd be okay with that for sure. So
give
it to me on Dark.
Y'all put it anywhere you want. Y'all, if they put that on Dark, that'd be the most watched episode of Dark I ever had.
Give them 30 minutes and just let them go.
I would, and the rest of them garbage they put
AEW Dark, the only one match.
I swear. I'd give them an hour.
Yeah, and just let them go for sure.
But yeah, that was really cool.
All right, so MLW. I'm going to wrap it up pretty quick here, but I wanted to talk about Enzo making his debut. And the best part of the whole match was somebody in the crowd said, all these free agents and we get Enzo.
Yeah, that's that was awesome. The match was way better than I thought it was going to be.
It was.
In all honesty.
Enzo was still sloppy in the ring.
But compared to who he is wrestling, I expected what I got.
Yeah. And who did you wrestle? I forgot.
Cross.
Oh, Matt Cross. Yeah. I'll tell you what I would love to see with Enzo is him back into a tag team. And so I thought kind of hard on this, like what would I do with him? One was maybe put him with Myron Reed and kind of be that guy. Or, since Contra's no more, bring back Simon Gotch and
I don't know. They talked about that. They didn't say it's gone all the way.
Well, right, they didn't, but as of right now, we
don't know what's going on.
Exactly. And maybe have Simon Gotch try to get him less Enzo, more back to boxer, because he does have that boxing background. So like a Simon Gotch, who Enzo could be unique if done right. You know what I mean? Like if the work was put in to do it. If you just stick with the same old Enzo, I'd definitely put him in like with Myron and. I'd bring back Jordan Oliver. I don't know why he left or whatever, but he's gone. And Jordan Oliver and Enzo and
they're doing an open door policy, so technically he could be with anybody.
Yeah. So, but I would definitely stick him with somebody. Like he doesn't need to carry a whole match. He just needs to be there. So.
What'd you think about Hammerstone and? Fighting all through it. I thought it was hilarious.
And I guess that answered our question. They did put the mask back on Jeff Cobb. So
at least I think it was Cobb.
Well,
you couldn't really tell.
You couldn't, but whoever it was, thank goodness it was back. I liked
what Richard Holiday was giving her Christmas present, and it's the cup, and he takes the cup and breaks it over Matanz's head. And he says, "Do you know what you just did?" And he's like. It's like this big monster trying to kill me.
I should have hit him with you, So
I love Richard Holiday, man. That guy.
I'm a fan of
perfect comedy, hot
timing. But yeah, so man, watched a lot of wrestling this week.
I really did.
I did too, more than I ever watched it. Well, not ever watched, but more than I've watched in a long time. So fun times for that. Yeah. And until next time,
watch wrestling.
Watch wrestling.
Thank you, truck driver.